what it's like to be Cyrano de Bergerac, to write the romantic words being used by someone else for their own ends. For in my early 20s, I was a screenwriter. And in fact, I actually won a Hollywood screenwriting competition. And as a result, I got an agent and I got interest from producers. Now, the interesting thing is, the script that I won the contest for was an intelligent romantic comedy. That was the slot that they put me in. And for those of you saying, Jason, that is an oxymoron, there is no such thing as an intelligent romantic comedy, you're wrong. Now, the challenge is, there haven't always been a lot of them. And what I found out was that the producers and directors that make those type of comedies, the Whit Stillmans, the Woody Allens, the Sofia Coppolas, tend to write their own stuff, or they have very trusted writers that they work with. So for someone new like myself, it was very difficult to actually get anything made. And I spent a lot of time going down to Hollywood, having meetings, signing contracts, but none of the movies that I wrote ever got made. So I decided to ditch my Hollywood dreams. I wasn't a resident, I didn't have health care, so I thought, you know what, I'll just stay in Canada. And it was interesting because I actually knew this very well-known Canadian actor, who I will call Esteban. Now, that is not his real name, but if I told you his real name, his manager would sue me. You would know Esteban. Esteban has been in several large and small movies, both in Hollywood and here in Canada. And he was going through a bit of a quiet patch in his career, so he decided to start a production company. And he asked me if I would write and produce a short film for him. And I said yes. So, he was very well known as, well, generally he played a villain or a drug dealer. He was Spanish. He had this wonderful Spanish accent. He was from Latin America, and he had this long brown hair and that perfect Latino beard and the smoldering eyes, you know. It was fantastic. He always played these villains and these drug dealers and things like that. So when I decided to write a film for him, we made sure there was lots of sex and violence in it. Yeah. In fact, we called this little opus, I believe, 5 Minutes to Armageddon. Very subtle. And Esteban loved it. It was set in a warehouse. It was kind of Tarantino-ish. There was this gunfight, and at the end there was this sex scene with Esteban and this character Lisa, who was the other gang member's girlfriend. And he thought it was great. So the next thing to do was to cast the film. And we decided to go for non-union talent. Anyone who has ever auditioned for a commercial or done anything with non-union actors know that there are a lot of really bad actors out there. We spent 8 hours on auditions and maybe 2 or 3 decent actors. But unfortunately, we hadn't had any good actresses, any good female actors. And we still had this important part to cast, this part of Lisa. And we were down to one person left. And as I'm looking down at her headshot, she's amazing. She's got this really short, jet black hair. She has this beautiful smile. She has this wonderful energy, this gorgeous body. I'm looking at her CV, and I realize she's recently been a Playboy Playmate of the Month. So Esteban turns to me and goes, JJ, I know it's been tough so far, but this girl, if she can act just a little bit, she is it. She is Lisa, I tell you. I said, well, we'll see. So all we needed was for this woman to be able to act just a little bit. Oh, was I disappointed. She came in, she opened her mouth to do her lines, and this horrible sound came out of her mouth. Her voice was so shrill. It put the hairs up on my head, and I realized that if we ever put this voice through movie speakers, it would peel the paint in the theater. It was that bad. And the only thing that was worse was her acting. But it was interesting, after she had finished auditioning, Esteban said, come here. I want to ask you a few questions, but when you answer, I want you to whisper. And he spent the next 20 minutes asking her questions about who she was, about her family background, how she got into acting, all of that stuff. And again, it was weird because he hadn't asked anyone else. Now, as soon as she was finished and she left the room, Esteban turned to me and goes, JJ, we have found her. We have found Lisa. I tell you, this girl has something. Said, Yeah, she's got something, but that something is neither acting talent nor a voice. Did you hear her? Oh, J. I understand. Let us look at this logically. Number one, you are correct. She does not have a voice. But she can whisper. Did you not hear her whisper? Gosh, she will whisper through the whole film. Secondly, you are right. She cannot act. That is why I need you. I need you to be able to write the part that she does not need to act. There is a reason why I had this conversation. I want you to understand her heart, her soul, the words that she uses. I tell you, I have this whole new idea for the film. Let us forget the warehouse and the guns. The whole film is set in a big master bedroom and a large white king-size bed. And it's her and I in the bed. So let me get this straight. So the whole film is you and the Playboy Playmate in the bed together. Oh, JJ, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. But this is not like that at all. I have a professional crew. They will not stand for the funny business. No. This will be art. This will be romance. I no longer want to play the villain. I want to be charming, funny, romantic. You will make me so. And you will do the same with her. You will hear her speak. You will write about her heart and her soul. And I tell you, this film will make us all famous. So that was quite the job I was given. But I actually did a pretty good job. I rewrote the whole thing. And it was this intelligent romantic comedy set in a bed. And I gave it to Esteban, and he absolutely loved it. Now, unfortunately, I was out of town when they actually shot it. But I was looking forward to it being edited, and then when it was released, we were going to put it on the festival circuit. I thought I'm going to go around, I'm going to get press, it's going to be great. But we had a bit of a problem, because Esteban suddenly got cast in a brand new nightly Canadian soap opera. And they were spending a lot of money on this. This was a big show. And interestingly enough, I remember the first episode when the show premiered. I was with a whole bunch of friends of mine. We're all in Canadian television, and we're all watching this show. And the very first shot, very first episode, very first shot, it's this man's ass. And he's on the bed, and he's on someone. I think he's on a girl. And you see it sort of squirming around. Right? And without thinking, I went, oh, there's Esteban. Everyone else says, how do you know that? I'm a screenwriter. I know these things. I said, he's the male lead. He's down a TV Guide. He's the male lead. Of course it's Esteban's ass. And I was right. It was Esteban's ass. And the public really liked Esteban's ass because the show was really popular. And it kept on going, and it kept delaying this film. And finally, after about 1.5 years or 2 years, it was finally over. And I went up to Esteban and I said, okay, when is our film going to get released? He goes, oh, JJ, we've got problems. You remember the girl we cast as Lisa? Well, she has been in several films now, and she has a big agent. I cannot afford her. I cannot afford to release this movie. I am sorry. But I want you to know that this girl in her other films, she is sexy, yes. But in our film, in the film you write, she is beautiful. You did an amazing job seeing who she is and who she was. She will never have a part like that again, I can assure you. And I have to say, JJ, you are magical. Everything I ask for, I ask you to make me funny, I am funny. I ask you to make me charming, I am charming. You must lead an amazing life. And it was that point I said, I think you have the two of us confused. You were the one who spent the entire day naked in a bed with a Playboy model. Me, all I got out of this was a writing credit for yet another movie that will never get made. I'm living with my folks. I'm almost 30. I thought I was going to be rich and famous. I'm not. And I started going on and complaining about my life. And that's when he said, well, JJ, I want to ask you a question. Who writes the script for your life? It is you, is it not? So, what you have to do is write that script for your life. If you want success in your next act, you write the things down today that will bring you the success. You want the romance? You want fun? You just write the script. I see you do this. You do this for me. You can do this for yourself. And as crazy as that guy was, and is, he was right. I realized that I am the writer of my own script. It is my life. And ever since then, I stopped being Cyrano de Bergerac and I started thinking about what I wanted in my life and how I could put that in my own script. And that's really, in large part, the message I want to share tonight. Is the 3 questions I ask myself now. Whenever I look at my future, I think, who is it that writes the script for my life? Who is it that writes the script for your life? What is your next act? And what are the things that you're going to write in your script today to get there? Thank you very much.